Hi, this is author Kelly Cameron, and I'm here to read a second excerpt from Tumbling Hearts, the third book in the Love and Balance series. I haven't quite picked some of the more spicy stuff from this book. This is kind of an emotional book. A lot of readers just really liked it because he is such a gentleman and he worries about her so much. So this is kind of a foreshadowing event. And the first thing that I want to do is I'm going to read the back cover, just in case you didn't see the first video, so you know what it's all about. And then I'll get into it. Anna Fortier's heart tumbles head over heels for the head coach in her gym. His gruff demeanor toward her suggests he couldn't care to give her the time of day. Determined to get over her crush, she devises a plan to tell him how she feels and free herself once and for all. Taras Volkov moved to Canada from the Ukraine to further his education and career. He didn't factor into his plan falling for Anna, a coach under his command at the gym. When Anna makes her feelings for him known, he chooses to reveal his secret desire for her. As they explore their new personal relationship, they are faced with one crisis after another. Will their hearts tumble together, or will their romance fall short? Congratulations! Your athletes did great today. Taras rested his butt against the edge of his desk and hugged Anna in congratulation. It was February 15th, the day after Valentine's Day and the weekend of the club's annual invitational meet. Thank you. Wrapping her arms around his neck, she settled between his thighs. The door to his office was closed and locked. The blinds were drawn. No one could see in, but with a gym full of people, they couldn't keep the world out for long. At first, coming back to work in the new year had been awkward. They'd tried to ignore each other in the gym in order to be able to concentrate on the athletes, but he always knew when she'd cast a glance in his direction, and he couldn't help stealing glances at her. Speculation amongst the gymnasts regarding their relationship had run rampant for a time, but they'd made no public service announcements. A couple of weeks later, things returned to normal. The tension he used to feel had disappeared because she knew of his love for her. Once they'd gotten into a routine in and out of the gym, everything was fine. Taras slid his palms down her arms and kissed her as if they had all day. Within seconds, his cock was harder than a rock, but then she always had that effect on him. Damn, he'd have to stop soon or he'd never get rid of his hard on. He had one more session to coach before being done for the day. Pulling away with a groan, he said, "We better quit before I take you up against the desk." "We haven't done it in your office yet." Her naughty smile did nothing to lessen his growing erection. "Bad woman." He emphasized the word woman because he knew how much she hated any reference to being called a girl. She pressed a kiss to his lips. "Aren't you lucky? I'm all yours." Lucky indeed. He swept his tongue into her mouth for one more taste. With a sigh, she stepped away from him, fingertips trailing down his arms. "I do have to get back to the apartment to study for my biology midterm." "Your dad mad about you staying with me more often?" Contemplating, she shrugged. "I don't think so. He hasn't mentioned anything in a while." Over the past 2 months, Anna had gradually spent more nights at his place. A couple of weeks after their first night together, he had given her a set of keys to his apartment, telling her she could come over to study if she ever wanted complete quiet or if she needed a place to crash after a night out with her friends at one of the downtown bars close to his place. He didn't like the thought of her driving late at night all the way to her family's home in Linden Woods when she could easily stay with him. Lately, he'd begun to wonder if they should make their living arrangements official. Anna continued talking. "I better get going. Dad and Evan are supposed to drop by for a bit. I need to get some study time in before then. I'll see you later at home." Home. The word echoed through his mind. Taras brushed a knuckle down one of her cheeks, wondering if she realized she'd referred to his place as home. She planted a quick kiss on his cheek. "I gotta run, babe. Good luck. I'll see you later." Later. In truth, he loved arriving back at his apartment to her or seeing her skip through the door after classes and driving her home from the gym on those rare nights they finished coaching at the same time. They cooked together and studied together. The arrangement was perfect, but he worried from time to time what her father thought. Tras had every intention of making her his bride one day and didn't want her dad to think he was using her. He watched as she donned her winter outerwear. You push too hard, sunshine. It's Saturday night. Why don't you take a break and go out with your friends? I want to do well on this midterm. I'll take a break when you get back. She kissed his cheek. I hope the rest of the competition goes smoothly. He tunneled a hand through his hair. Only one more category and it will be over for the day. Anna blinded him with a smile. And then you'll be back here again tomorrow. He stuck his tongue out at her. Don't remind me. She pulled her gloves on. Ah, the life of a gym coach. If only people knew how unromantic spending hours in a chalky, sweat-smelling gym watching kid after kid fall during a competition really was, we wouldn't be envied so. One hand on the doorknob, she threw him a saucy wink. Maybe I'll think of a way to help you recharge your batteries. Laughing, he pointed a finger at her. Not helping. It would help if you could control your reaction to me. She batted her eyelashes. He gestured at the door. Out, temptress. She giggled and kissed his cheek again. I'll see you later. Yo, Kahayu. Yeah, whatever. I love you. I love you too. He bit back a groan at the sight of her ass in the air when she bent down to retrieve her gym bag from the floor. Sensing what he was doing, she said, Stop staring at my butt. Don't bend over like that. Shouldering her bag, she reached for the door again. A sense of foreboding caused a shiver to ripple up his spine that had nothing to do with his desire for her. Anna, wait. She turned back to face him. What? A chill ran through him from head to toe. Here. He snatched his keys off the desk and held them out to her. Take my truck. Why? She scrunched her eyebrows together in confusion. I drove here today. Besides, how will you get home later? Give me your keys. I'll take your car. He thrust his keys at her, an overwhelming need for her to take them swamping him. Take my truck, he insisted. A worried expression on her face, she took the keys from him. But, Taras, I've only driven your SUV a couple of times. I trust you. Drive slowly. You'll be fine. She shook her head. This is silly. I'll drive my car home. I'm used to driving in Manitoba winters. Take the truck. She jumped a little at his outburst. Please. A frustrated sigh escaped. He couldn't explain the bad feeling he had. He only knew she'd be safer if she took his vehicle home. People have been commenting all day about how much it's snowing and blowing out there. I overheard a couple of parents talking about how icy the roads were. It's amazing this competition is running their schedule. She put her hands on her hips in what he knew was her pissed-off stance. While they rarely ever fought, he could read her well. He decided to appeal to her common sense. My tires are better than yours. Just take the truck, please. I'll feel better. He gave her his best, sad puppy look. Oh, fur. She rolled her eyes and caved. All right, I'll take the SUV. Relief settled in his gut. Drive safe. He reached over and pulled her in for a hug.